Hello, guys. Welcome back to Sports Covery. And as we know, the test season's back, cricket season's back. And what better way to kick off the test season than the WTC final? We've got a whole new set of, okay, not new set of finalists, one new finalist who we probably wouldn't have guessed at the start of the test cycle if we were to place our bets, followed by a clear cut favorite who has dominated the world test scene for as long as I can remember. So we have South Africa, we have Australia. A lot of questions have been raised, a lot of concerns, a lot of excitement has been building up, a lot of chaos as to who makes the cut, who is part of the traveling squad, who makes the 11, what's the pitch going to look like. We have a lot of questions. We're going to have I feel we're going to have a very interesting chat. So Adi, straight off the bat, a lot of questions have been asked about South Africa's path to the WTC final, about the opponents they faced, the kind of opponents they dodged. So what do you think there? Like where do you stand when it comes to the path they had towards the final?
Yeah, bro. I feel like that's the thing. When we sat towards guessing who would be in the finals, I think we generally would tell teams like maybe New Zealand, Australia, England would be the favorites. But that's what I
Ooh,
think
no,
shows.
India. That's
I mean,
interesting.
India, regardless, I think they're always there in conversation at the moment. Any format, I think they're always should be the favorites to come to the finals at least.
Mm.
At least that, especially in Test cricket, I think we all thought, bro. I remember at a point in time we were first, and we were like, okay, this is how who are we? It was a question of who would India face in the finals, not a question
Yeah,
of can we qualify, right? That's how it
that
was.
New Zealand series wrecked our.
Yeah, before the New Zealand series,
Yeah,
I think we had to just win the New Zealand series, and the BGT wouldn't even matter at that point of
we could
time.
have no, we could have won if we won one game, drew one game, it would have been fine.
Yeah, something
We
like
didn't
that.
have
The New
to. Yeah,
Zealand series was like the series would which would take India to the finals itself.
yeah,
So that's how it was in the beginning. And I think, to be fair, like the reason South Africa is there to the extent of where they are right now is because India really bottled that series at home, and then it
mm,
followed on with the poor series in Australia. If you, as we said, if they just won it at home, I don't think we would sit and say, yeah, do South Africa really deserve? Because no one would care if they were third, right? Like it would have been India and Australia in the finals again. But yeah, bro, I think that's where the flaw of this format of WTC comes, because if you have a team like South Africa who haven't played England, who haven't played Australia, who only played India at home, and they've really not played even the top teams, they really didn't go and tour them away. Like Pakistan was at home, even even Bangladesh, I guess it was at home. So like most of the
mm.
teams came there to play. In South Africa, they did win because we know how Test cricket
No,
works. Okay,
Bangladesh was away. By the way,
okay.
it
I
was
think
at Bangladesh.
I don't. But most of the Test cricket was at home, if I'm not wrong. Like
Yeah. No.
most of
A
their
lot of
teams they
it
played
was
were at
dominated
home.
by South Africa home series.
Yeah, and even the qualification where they had to win that Test match against Pakistan, it was at home. So like the
Yeah.
conversation we're having right now is, okay, they had a set of teams to play. Like at the end of the day, you can lose. Like how India, you know, that's what I'm saying. India won if they win against New Zealand at home. We don't have this conversation of, okay, does South Africa really deserve it? Because to be fair, if you beat who is in front of you and go forward, it works out for you or not. See, if ICC is not regulating the Test Championship in terms of, this set amount of teams should play this set amount of teams, and it's like, okay, the boards can decide whoever they want to play. You would generally find England, India, Australia trying to play each other to get the most money out of broadcasting rights. Like you can't do
Right.
much about it. Like Australia would rather play England and India than play South Africa, for example. Same with India. I think they rather play England and Australia, and vice versa with Australia, England also. I think these three teams played a lot of Test cricket in this World Test Championship. They all faced each other, and I think it does come down to that also. Like you can't do much when South Africa would like to have like a three-test series against India, England. But the fact is, I think the board always would rather go to, like as I said, like they would rather have these top three nations playing against each other. I think that
Mm.
matters, and maybe that's why they really couldn't play, Australia, or they couldn't play England. But To be fair, they did have good level of oppositions because, like, for me at least, they did play India at home, who I overall have a superior test team. At least at that point of time, they did have a superior test team in terms of the cricketers in there. Even New Zealand, they toured them away, and I think they lost it. It's not like it was an easy ride for them going to New Zealand. And I remember
Mm.
they played a second string team
They
there
did
because they
lose.
were concentrating on the SA T20 that time. So it was
Right.
not like
Yes.
they dominated the entire time of their test championship journey to be like, yeah, these guys were playing on top every time. Because they really didn't care about the test championship when they toured New Zealand because they sent the second string team. They were concentrating on the SA T20 because that was the first season of SA T20.
Yep. Yep.
And for me, I feel like the conversation comes down to if India won against New Zealand, we wouldn't sit here and talk about it. Because India lost, the next best team came. We can say why is England not playing? Because even they played a lot of Test cricket at home. They should have been actually ideally they should be the team that's third, sitting there and pushing towards uh, the World Test Championship spot. But three finals in a row, they're not anywhere close. Same with New Zealand, they could have been in the conversations because they have a good Test team. They play a lot of matches, and they do play quite test matches both shared at home away. They beat India also at away. So you could have asked, okay, why is these teams not there? And yeah, bro, I think overall they do deserve to be here because of the fact of how it's structured, and they just got the best out of the structure of what the tournament is. Like we can't say they don't deserve it because again you have to win your home test matches, which is not easy. Like you can still go and lose your home test matches, and they did that, and I think it shows that they do deserve to be here. And let's see what happens in the finals because it's not anyways the finals is what matters. It doesn't matter if you come to the final and lose. If fair play, South Africa came till here. If they do beat Australia, you can't even question their journey because they beat the defending champions. It's not just a new finalist. It's the defending champions. They're the team to come back to back finals again. And it's
Hmm.
it's no it's no joke to beat Australia, especially in this era of Test cricket, where I think overall they are pretty much the top team in Test cricket, at least for me.
Mm. Yep, I'll quickly go through the squad of South Africa. A very strong squad. Looks flush in confidence, led by Captain Temba Bavuma, Tony DeZorzi, their other opener. Aiden Markram, who will partner DeZorzi. Vian Mulder, who played the last Pakistan test, but I don't expect him to start. Followed by Marco Jansen, Kagiso Rabada, Keshav Maharaj, Lungi Angidi, Corbin Bosch, Kyle Varainad, David Bedingham, Tristan Stubbs, Ryan Rickelton, Senuran Muthuswamy, their left arm orthodox spinner, and Dane Patterson. This is a very, very challenging team. Like, I look at this team, this is for the first time in a long time, I see star-studded names. Like, for a while, South Africa, after their dream team, that Graham Smith team, they had a very big dip. And of course, that whole sandpaper series happened. But I still felt after that, Graham Smith's that the dream team of I'd say the 20 up 2014 2015. After that, I would say this looks the most promising. Again, maybe not to dominate Australia in a full-on series, but when it comes to a test in neutral venue, a lone test in neutral venue, I feel this team is more than capable of doing it. This team has got the minerals, has got players in good form, and looks like this is potentially their strongest squad as well. I don't think they're missing anyone. So plus, it's going to be in a neutral venue, so neither teams can complain. This looks like a good squad. I don't know. I feel like personally, I feel it's going to be very close. And I don't know. For a change, I hope South Africa gives Australia a run for their money. Like, and I would be very disappointed if they wouldn't even push Australia to the limits, because even Australia have a lot of question marks, by the way. So yeah, I just wanted to show some light on that. Australia, yeah, they are the defending champions. They have players who are in good form, but some of them are concerning. Some of them, there are question marks when it comes to selections. There are question marks when it comes to fitness. What does it look like? Because when it comes to the selection headache of Hazelwood or Scott Boland, whether it comes to the selection headache of Cam Green or Manas Labuschagne, a lot of questions are being asked. So, Adi, if again, straight up, Hazelwood or Boland and Green or Labuschagne, who are your picks if you had to pick just one of these two?
Bro, if you're having a headache between Boland and Hazelwood in Test cricket, I think it's a good headache. I don't think it's a bad headache to have. Like,
Fair enough.
especially coming to Lords, the way even Boland performed last time in the World Test Championship final, I think he was a man of the match, if I'm not wrong, right? And he really,
I think it was Travis Head, but I don't know. Boland had a good series. I mean,
yeah,
game
but I remember
nonetheless.
he had a really good series. I don't. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was Travis Head. Correct, correct. It was Travis Head. But I remember Bolan had a really good series because he
he
did
did. He
come
did.
in as a replacement, and I don't think there were doubts, to be fair, but it was something new when you're missing Hazelwood and any other player coming and fitting in eh, as a replacement for Hazelwood will be under the spotlight.
Mm.
And he did play well. Like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Like I remember it was Travis Head. Yeah, I think he scored a century if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
like
think 163 or something. But then Boland came
yeah,
and cleaned up Gill and
yeah,
Kohli for
exactly.
us.
He took Gill and Kohli, right? I think the for India at that point of time, that was the important wickets,
Yeah.
especially coming the way Australia batted and the way India had to bat. I think yeah, it is what it is. And coming towards this series, bro, for me, I from what I've seen with both of them, I would rather always play Hazelwood because I think if you have your best bowler there, I don't think the conversation should come towards uh, will Boland play because of okay, like Jesus come a bit late, towards the test squad because he was playing the IPL. He has only
Mm.
1 week of preparation compared to Boland, who has had more time. But again, bro, it is Hazelwood, and I think he himself told in the press conference when he was asked uh, how he felt about going and playing Test cricket, especially after the injury he had. He did have a small injury scare during the IPL before the break, and I think that break also helped him a bit to recover well. He did miss the restart, the first game of RCB. He did miss it. He came a bit late. When he was in his rehab, he was bowling. He was preparing for the World Test Championship. Also, there were videos of him, Stark, Nathan Lyon, all bowling to Kansas, if I'm not wrong. So it's not like he didn't prepare for the red ball. And I think even in the press conference, as he was asked, they did tell him. He did tell the media that playing an IPL is the best way he can gain fitness towards the World Cup Championship because it is very intense. We can say it's 20 overs, but it's still very intense. And also, he felt like, yeah, gave him the good rhythm to go into the World Test Championship. I think it's better to have some matches under your belt before going towards World Test Championship, especially coming out of the shoulder injury, rather than just suddenly going in the deep end. I think that can happen. And for me, like, if you have the option of Hazelwood, I wouldn't, for whatever reasons or for whatever plus points, Boland can give. Like, I'm not saying Boland's a bad player or he's not up there. I think even if, for example, Hazelwood misses a game, he can come in and play well. But Hazelwood is just a difference maker. I think you need these difference makers. You can't just ignore them. And I feel like I would always put Hazelwood and push Hazelwood any day.
And
Like
in defense of Scott Boland, he came out in one of the interviews and said for the first time in a long time, around 3-4 years, he has been playing injury free. He has been playing pain free because of his recurring right foot injury, which he had been carrying on for a while. For the first time, he says he is confident. He says he is. It feels like like he's let off from the shackles. So he also seems to be primed. So again, I wouldn't want to be a selector in this scenario. Again, the
no, but
second
like
part of it was yeah. You were
but
saying?
like Boland never gets the chance. When you look at it, also like Boland never gets a chance to be the mainstay bowler in Australia whenever they have the big three fit. Like you look at even with the India Test series, it's not like he was playing. He started off right. It's when
Mm,
Hazelwood got injured is when he came back into the squad. I think he only played the pink Test ball, if I'm not wrong, before like
yeah.
he started, coming full on because again Hazelwood missed that series because of injury, and then they had to get him back in. So I think like overall, I think it's just bad timing for him. But I have never seen or never really been able to fit him as a fourth seamer. I don't think you can do that anyways, like in Test cricket. And do you think he should be there right now? Like in terms of, for example, both of them are fully fit. We know that both of them are fully fit. I think the conversation of him and Hazelwood, do you think it's even worthy to have? Like,
See, to be fair, if it were for me, if this game was happening anywhere in Australia, then the conversation becomes a lot more close. Like then I'd say there's a lot more headache when it comes to selection. But yeah, Scott Boland did have a full tour of England when he went for the Ashes, and I think he got taken for a ride by Stokes, by every other batter there. Like they were just, and especially this was peak baseball, so they were just coming out and like somebody coming in hitting good length in the late or early 130s at that point. So that was cakewalk for them, and they got taken for a ride. If I'm not saying South Africa that is going to be the similar approach, but if there is somebody who's taller, quicker, who can hit the right lengths better just for this game. I'm a big fan of Boland, by the way. The way, like, for me, he is the closest to your Peter Siddles, who's like, who can relentlessly hit that length, that small. You point a small box in the pitch, he's gonna hit that box 9 out of 10 times. That is a level of accuracy he has. But if that is what you need in England, I'm not so sure. So if it was just in Australia, I'd probably say it is a lot more closer. But because this game is happening in Lords, I'd say go with the experience, go with somebody who has been seasoned, has been more proven in that place in the first place. That
yeah,
is the case for me when it comes to Hazelwood. And on at the other end of the spectrum, when it comes to batting for Australia, there have been questions about their veteran yet only 30, Marnus Labuschagne, who hasn't had the greatest of time when it comes to this WTC cycle. He averages what, around 30, and you take this year alone, I don't think he averages even close to 30 as well. So going
he
into
has an
this,
average of 15 right now for this year, but he's
yeah,
only played 3 Test games.
yeah, that is not encouraging at all. And when you consider the fact that they have other batters, like Australia have tried playing Carey and Josh Inglis, despite both of them being wicket keepers. Now Cameron Green is also back, and the replacement for Cameron Green, who was Bo Webster, is also there, part of the squad. I mean, like when it comes to a
And they have
technical
Sam
standpoint,
Constas, if you
Sam
want to.
Constance, yeah, Sam Constance is an opener. But I'm saying from a pure technical standpoint, I wouldn't say these batters, who your Cameron Greens, your Bo Websters, your Alex Carries, are your natural one down, somebody who can hold the fort at one end and like hold the guard at one end. But the fact that runs are not coming like at any rate, like even in positions where you can rotate strike, some, like I've seen Labuschagne has not been able to rotate strike. He's relentlessly leaving the balls or even blocking it off. Like, it, for me, that resembled like Labuschagne off late, like reminded me of Pujara, like in the latter stages of his career, where it got to a point where pressure got to the other batter on scoring runs, because it got like the runs were leaking up I mean, drying up from one end completely. So where do they go for, like, here? Like, do they go for a Cam Green? Do they try and fit in both the wicket keepers? Because we know that it's going to be pretty much Sam Constance and Travis Head opening pair. Two down is going to be Smith. I mean, with his return in form, and he's the vice captain, so I don't think that is going to change. Three down, four down. Again, I don't think they are as concerned, because Carey will come in somewhere, and either Green or Bo Webster will come in somewhere. So who plays in that one down position? Also, they also have Usman Khwaja, by the way. So who plays one down for you? And what does
Bro,
the
for
batting
me,
look like? If
yeah.
whoever comes one down, what will the rest of the batting look like for you?
Yeah, bro. I think I agree with what you said. I think even in the India Australia series, when I used to watch him, it was a matter of, I think he struggled a lot. I don't think it was not even a matter of, I think he was not even understanding the line and length and what shots to play, especially when Bumrah, even to an extent, Siraj was bowling. I think even Siraj was getting the better out of him during the Test series. Most of
Yep.
it, like, it was not even a matter of, it was 1, 2 games. It was, I don't think it was down to the conditions also. It was just generally overall. The way he played, I think he struggled and he really couldn't adapt to the conditions no matter what he tried. I think he was just trying too hard. I remember like not really getting anything off the bat. Every time he tried to hit the shot, he was just not getting his timing right, not the not the right shot selection. And I think see, me personally, I didn't watch the Sri Lanka series because I think at that point of time it was already confirmed Australia going to play. But just looking at his pure numbers, and as we were discussing, like every other batter every other batter for Australia that the two-seater series scored a lot of runs. Like every single of them, like had a half century at least. Kavaja also scored a double century, scored a century. Steve Smith centuries. Josh English also scored a century. Even Carey scored a century. The only guy who didn't play well that entire two test matches was Labuschagne. He's the only one who struggled out of the entire batting order, just based on what the figures are. And I think it's been there for a while, bro. I think even before that, I think he was just struggling. I remember against Pakistan also he struggled. Like when I saw, sorry, against West Indies, my bad. And overall, I think you can have a conversation because I think for example, with us Indian fans, when we had the conversation, even though whatever it was, we had that conversation with Virat, we had that conversation with Rohit Sharma, regardless of what they've done before. And I think that conversation at least does matter. Maybe he might play, maybe he won't play, but having the conversation, having the pressure, having the spotlight on your poor performances, maybe throughout 1 2 years, you do come under pressure. And now you have younger players coming in, bro. Like you still have Cameron Green, you still have Sam Consas. Okay, he's not played a much. Like I can't sit and say he's supposed to play, but he has done a bit when he had to, right? And looking at the last test match, you saw Travis Head playing as an opener with Kawaja. I don't think that's a long-term plan. I think it was just an experiment because they knew that everything was done. They knew they were playing the finals, and they just tried something different. I feel like, but I feel like Australia have a lot of options now because they have Cameron Green back. They have Josh English who can play. In my opinion, I don't know if he's a pure test player because he hasn't played much, or I haven't seen much of him playing like test all over the world. And can he play? I think he can based on how Test cricket is going. I feel like if guys like Pant, Travis Head can play Test cricket, I think even guys like Josh Inglis can play is the point. And going towards this finals, I think the only saving grace for him is I don't think they have a national number three. I don't
Mm.
think it makes sense to risk it in the final because you don't know how it can disrupt your batting order. Suddenly, you take a Labuschagne, you don't know what the balance will be like. You get in someone else. Now, I don't think Steve Smith, we know he's going to play number four no matter where in the world he's playing, no matter what conditions, no matter what. I don't think Travis Head will come as an opener because I think it's better for him to play in the lower order. Cameron Green, he's another player who's played well right now, and he's started playing in Test County, if I'm not wrong. But the place where he plays, even for his team, is number six, number five. It's not as a number three, so you can't put him as a number three. Also, I know there's a lot of conversation of him can he play number three, but I don't think it can suit him. At least right now,
Mm.
today, if you're going into a finals, I don't think it makes sense. So
Mm.
yeah, I feel like based on elimination, you realize okay, they don't have a right now. They don't have a solid number three, so
They
you
don't have
can't do
another
anything about it.
option. Yeah.
And exactly, and I feel like at the end of the day, he still has the experience. Like you can't take that out, and he has proven himself before these past 2 years, bro. Like he used to average at 60, 65. He made his debut in England, if you remember, like in the Ashes also, and
Concussion
he
sub, the infamous
exactly,
concussion sub.
and he did score a half century if I'm not wrong, or a solid 30. If I just don't remember
Mm.
it, but I know he had a decent debut in that series also, and it's not like he's not played there before. Even last Ashes, he was decent. He's been decent in England, is the point. And bro, it's a final, bro. I rather not change too much. Like it doesn't make sense. Just back your experienced player. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You know, at least okay, you can. If it doesn't work out now, you might have an idea of okay, we can move on from here. But there is no point of dropping and changing too much to the finals. I just don't see it. But I really think they might play him as an opener. Just my opinion because
As an opener.
for me, I don't
Mm.
think they have an opener right now because I don't think Travis Head is going to open. I
What,
don't think
Khwaja and Constis?
I don't think Consus will play because if Sam Consus was the serious option, I think he would have gone to Sri Lanka. Just for the pure
Mm.
fact he didn't go to Sri Lanka, just for the fact that that Sri Lanka was a test series which there was no pressure. You could have gone, gained two test matches of experience, which
Yep.
he didn't get under his belt. I just don't see it. I think Josh English is someone else who can come into the squad and play. play for them. So again, I might have to. Okay, it might be either head opens, even though I don't know how I can see it, or it might be, Labuschagne opening. But I think it's one of those two things. I really can't see Constance playing for the Australia, at least right now in the finals. I just don't see it.
Mm. Yep. I mean, to be fair, yeah, he has the like his saving grace, like you said, is that Australia don't have a tailor-made number three, like right there, they're like absolutely ready to pick up from where he's going to be leaving off. But if it does, if the form does continue, it's going to be worrisome because they have players who can like it's like chess pieces. They can Australia are so good when it comes to talent management. They can just move around pieces and still make up a good team, and everyone will chip in. Three guys will chip in with 50s, one guy or two guys with 50s, one guy with a 150, and before you know it, they are 300. They are pushing 100 or a follow on down your throat, and before you know it, the test series is over. And especially when you consider they have talents like Nathan McSweeney waiting in line. Like, of course, I felt he was harshly done by in that BGT because bro, nobody was able to play Bumrah. It's not
He's not an
just
opener,
Nathan
bro. He's
McSweeney.
not
Yeah,
even
no,
an
no, no.
opener.
That's why I'm saying he is somebody who comes one down, two down, and he was made to play opening against Bumrah in his peak. Like I don't think anybody could have handled it, and for me, I felt he handled Bumrah as good, like as well as anybody could have. I mean, so Sam Constance was the other end of the spectrum. He was going all out, like you want to play fire with fire, but then for somebody who wanted to play the more conventional test cricket, I felt he did a good job. So if Labuschagne's form does continue, does persist, or his batting concerns are persisting, then I think they might just look at somebody. And the sad part is that if Australia, when like that's the sad part, that if your replacement tends to play well, then you are looking at a lengthy time off of the team. You're not going to get back in the team 2 or 3 series later. You are looking at 1.5, like 1.5, 2 years out of the setup, and that is going to be sad for somebody who is entering their 30s. It's going to be hard to make a comeback at your 33, 34 if the rest of the team is if that team has moved forward, moved on without you. Then to catch up is an uphill battle. So yeah, plenty of worries for Australia with their batting order. And back to South Africa, the new boys in the party. What do you think their opening setup or their top order is going to look like? They too have been chopping and changing, like
Yeah,
the usual Rickleton or Aiden
Markram.
Markram, and but they also tried Vian Mulder one down.
Yeah,
The
against
test
Pakistan.
before that, it was Dizorzi who was coming one down or opening. So
Yeah.
where do you think South Africa will go in this?
Bro, they have the same problem with their number three. I think at least their opening pair, at least for them right now, I think it's set with Rickard and Markram. I think both of them will open. I think the coach also said like Rickard and Markram are the openers for the test match, and that's why he was like, okay, we really need them, uh, and we can't let them stay for the playoffs, right? That's why they had to pull them out. But I think those two are set, bro. I think with Rickleton, he has proven himself that he can play international cricket, not about test cricket anything. Like even in the IPL, I think he adapted well, and that's what I could
Yeah,
see.
he
He
did.
did
He did.
struggle in the beginning, but I could see the way he adapted. I was impressed by it. And same thing with Markram, like not about adapting, but he has that experience. He's playing for South Africa for so long, bro. Like since 2018, and I think he's one of the most experienced batters out there for their team right now. You can't drop him. Like it doesn't make sense, anyways. Like he's one of the best batters. I think number three is their biggest issue right now because I don't think they have anyone who they have right now can play number three well. Like for example, I don't think Tazozzi is good enough. Just my opinion. He hasn't
Mm.
been consistent at all in Test cricket, and same thing with Mulder. I just think he's played enough Test cricket to be like, yeah, this guy he's played what almost 20 games if I'm not wrong. If you just pull up the stats, and I remember if I just check it, it's around 22 average, and every time I watch him, also it's not like he's scoring a lot of runs.
It's not very
So I think
convincing.
that yeah, I think if you're saying Labuschagne is an issue for Australia, I think that's a better issue to have than not having a set number three. I think
Mm.
So I feel like in Test cricket, if you don't have a solid number three, it's going to break your team overall. I feel like the reason India struggled a lot this past 2-3 Test matches was because the number three was not set, or nor was they solid. But apart from that, uh, going into this test game, I really can't see a solid number three for South Africa. I think they have decent players after the number three. They have Bamuma, they have Tristan Stubbs, they have even someone like a Bedingham, who I think he has a bit of quality in him. So in that sense, like overall they have good players there. But bro, I don't know who should be the number three. Like really, if I had to put in, it's just a coin toss between one of those two. I would try Stubbs if I had to, but
At number
I don't
three.
think. I think he has a talent to play number three as Test cricketer. I think he has really good talent to play. I think he can. He has the cricketing brains, firstly, to feel the game, see the situation, and then start playing. I just think he has the patience in him to do it. I don't think he's gotten that opportunity much for South Africa consistently in Test cricket. But if not the finals, if I'm saying long term, if there's one player in the Test team right now who I can see, I would rather back someone like Stubbs to just understand number three position and play there well, because uh, overall, even though like South Africa has Stubbs, they've not been brave enough to play him there. Like you look at every time they're just chopping and changing so much in the number three position, which I've never liked it. But I don't think they're going to put him in number three suddenly. So that's the sad part. So you need to tell me who you think, because for me it's just a coin toss between the options they have right now. And
See, the thing
yeah, New
is,
York Times Square, like Stubbs average is 44. Yeah, I think he's played a bit of cricket at number three, but he's not gotten enough chance at number three. If you look at him over the past 1.5 years, he's barely played at number three. He generally comes at number four, number five. If you look at uh, Stubbs, yeah,
see,
Rishi.
yeah, the thing is, they don't even like if you move Stubbs from that number four position, that number four is another one more glaring hole. Like I don't know who fills in. Like I again, I'm not the biggest fan of Bauma when it comes to consistent run scoring. You need somebody solid. For me, your best batter has to play at number four. Who is South Africa's best batter right now? For me, I would place that, like, although Tristan Stubbs has been averaging what I think 22, 23 at number four, I still back him to play there over your likes of Bauma, over your likes of Dizorzi, or even Bedingham, who I think is a very good player, but I still think Bedingham is not yet there to take up that number four, like that number four position. So, if anything, I would much rather, as a safety option, have Stubbs at number four and move around somebody at number three. Like you want to go ahead. Like I don't even mind playing Dizorzi as the second opener, push Rickleton down number three, and then Stubbs number four, Bauma number five, Bedingham number six. I wouldn't mind this either. I think they were doing this at one point, and for this game, that honestly is what I feel they should be doing. And for me, the reassuring part is that none of these guys are terribly out of form. Like Aiden Markram started off like Ryan Rickleton started off a little bit slow in the IPL, but gained a lot of momentum going in. I know, completely different ball game, but when you have runs under your belt and in any format, you are just going to have that confidence. It does not mean when you change from your club format, club jerseys, you are going to, and you switch to whites one fine day, you're going to be like, oh no, suddenly in red ball I'm not playing that well. Like if you have that momentum, you tend to do well. And just for that, I feel these batters going into this tournament have what it takes to take on the Australian bowlers, have what it takes to put up a good fight. And to be honest, I don't know, I just really want South Africa to win. Like like Australia wins, of course, they are just stamping their authority on world cricket, on test cricket. Nothing pretty much changes. But I think it was Boucher who came out and said, like, if South Africa actually manages to win this series, it means a lot more for their country. It means a lot more for South African test cricket, which has been a dying breed for now. So just for that sake, for the fact that this is a good squad, this squad has potential, is reaching their prime, I would just want them to cross the line, put their ghosts of the past behind, and just get, like, just put it to doubt. Put it beyond doubt. What do you think? Who do you think is actually going to lift that mace once and for all again? Is it going to be Australia? I think what, three-peat, or no? This would be their second time, no? Or South Africa for the first time in the longest time picking up an ICC trophy.
Yeah, bro. I think right now it's a bit tough, right? Like going into the finals. For me, it's a question of who can adapt to these conditions better. I think that's a fact because Australia has played a lot of Test cricket here. It's not like they're new to these conditions. They played last year. They played the World Test Championship before. I think that previous time was in the Oval, if I'm not wrong. I don't think they played in the Lords, if I'm right or wrong, but can't remember. But
Mm.
overall, we know that Australia has more experience playing in these big stages. They have the right. They've had a very solid test team for the past 2 3 years straight. It's not like they've changed a lot. Going back to 2022, 2023 Test Championship, you come now. The only player that's missing right now is David Warner for them. The rest of it, it's pretty much same. Nothing's changed for them. Everybody knows their role. Everyone's solid enough. Coming into this, I don't see where their weaknesses are. You look at the spin department, they have someone like Nathan Lyon who's a game can be a game changer anywhere. You look at their batting order, no matter how bad they are in form, they still have the balance, they still have the firepower. They have Steve Smith at the end of the day. They have Travis Head at the end of the day when you look at the batting order. So in that sense, going into this finals, for me, they are the favorites. I would still push them to win it. And the reason is for me is basically their bowling order. I think looking at South Africa's bowling lineup versus Australia's bowling lineup and the options in spin and the fourth option, if for example Australia plays someone like Webster and Gavin Green, they have two extra bowlers. They can take off the load from the top three players also, like take off the load from Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood at their will. I think that helps them to be more dynamic, let's say. Compared to South Africa, I think they've been struggling with their bowling, like overall. And
Mm.
coming here, Rabada has not played enough cricket for a long time. Like he hasn't played enough cricket, no matter what. He had a 1 month ban. He didn't get. He was not even conditioned a bit to playing any form of cricket in IPL, high level cricket, right? Now I don't know if NGD is going to come back into the team. There are possibilities he might come in. So overall, I think the bowling lineup is going to be the biggest in England. If you have a really good bowling lineup, I think that matters the most. In these conditions, who can exploit it more? I think Australia can do it. Even if, for example, we're saying, oh, Hazelwood might not be fit, I don't think makes sense. But if it comes down to that, if bowling comes in, I still think they're still very strong in terms of as a bowling unit, right? Compared to South Africa. I think that's where we're going to go towards, like who can be uh, more dynamic and who can just overpower, bro. I think Australia can overpower South Africa if they really want. And for me, it
Mm.
looks really tough to say where they can pull it off. I would put my bets on someone like Stubbs, Rickleton to really play long innings if they really want to win. Like I would have to put it down to that because looking at the batting lineup, for me, the confidence I get is from guys like Rickleton, Stubbs. Even with Bauma, yeah, I don't think Bauma really averages 16 Test cricket. But
No, this
I,
WTC cycle, I checked it. That's true,
yeah,
and
but
even
that's my
I
point.
wanted
But
to mention that about
yeah,
for like, yeah, the New York Times Square. He has been doing well. He has, to be fair, like, yeah, against the opponents that he faces, he has been doing well. But let's be real, he is not facing the strongest of opponents. Like,
yeah,
with all due respect.
that's the thing. For me, with South Africa, if I just want to put in context, Bauma's played in England 4 times. He has an average of 30, which any top batter, you can say it's decent. I wouldn't say it's the worst, but you can't talk about playing at home versus playing away. Like, if you put that
Mm.
conversation, a lot of Test cricketers play well at home. Like, you should play well at home, right? Like, even Gill has the point is he plays well at home, but away is where he struggles. Like, most of them, that's a conversation coming into England, I don't know if see for me, Bauma, I think there has been a lot of not disrespect per se, but people can take him, under the radar just because of what it is. Maybe it's because he plays for South Africa. Maybe it's not like he can get taken serious compared to the likes of Root, Virat, what do you say, Steve Smith for their respective countries. I would obviously put Bavuma as a top player for South Africa. But when I see Bavuma facing a bowling lineup like Hazelwood, like Stark, like Cummins, I would always give them the edge, bro. Like no matter what, if a bowling lineup like that is coming towards you, and mind you, it's not like Bavuma has played them well enough for a long time in this test series, in this correct test series to say, like he's faced Australia before, he's done it against them well, and yeah, I would back Bovuma. Like you can't say that outright, right? Because look at the teams he's played. He has played the lower level teams. It's not like he's played the top teams. And when it comes down to it, you don't know. You can't. I can't sit here and say, he can be a game changer. For sure, he might. But just taking an educated guess from what we have to see from both the teams, bro, like Australia's bowling lineup is just too powerful. Stark, anytime in a final, he gets weirdly serious and he's so dangerous. Like
He
that
decides
left
to
arm,
lock in.
that left arm is just scary if it gets to it. Like you just give him 2 3 balls, he can just finish you if it comes down to it. Cummins, bro, he's just too smart. He's just too smart as a captain. Like you can't write him off anywhere in the world. And I think with Hazelwood, as you said, he's too consistent. Even if he can just bowl the same thing every time, and you can struggle for the entire day if it comes down to it. So overall, I just think they have too much power there, and yeah, I think it is a matter of how seriously they show up on a day, like the Australian bowlers.
It's seriously time for Markram to step up and take some responsibility. Yep, Rahul, that's true. He's been a senior for a while. He's been with the setup for a while. I think it is high time that now that they are in a final, finally a place where they can establish themselves, as they've been knocking on the door of the big boys for a while now. So it's only fair that your senior players, your experienced ones, finally stand up. Which, again, like South Africa, I don't want to call them names and all that. They have, on a lot of occasions, they have managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So hopefully that's one of the reasons I really want, because they've, like, I look at the squads, I look at the kind of players who have played, have passed through the setup, have, gone through the whole circus of, playing well, almost finishing, like almost grasping at the trophy and then missing out. Like you like, be it AB de Villiers, be it David Miller, be it your even as recent as Henry Klassen. Like, it's just kind of disheartening to see the kind of quality that, you know goes through without managing to convert and get one of your ICC tournaments. Like, we all know, like, when it comes to their test team, I think that 14 20, I think 2010 to 2015 16 would be one of the toughest like test teams to exist. Like, whether they are touring any nation, or whether teams are going to South Africa, they have given teams nightmares. So, like, that nobody's going to change. Like, their four pacers at their best were Philander, Mone Maukel, Dale Steyn, and a young Kagiso Rabada. So it can't get any scarier than that. Your first change, you're looking at somebody who's going to come in and give you some respite. It's going to be Mone Maukel. So it's not going to get any easier. And then you have guys like Hashim Amla, Graham Smith, De Villiers, Faf piling on runs. So there was no respite. So when you look at teams like that, I just feel like for some poetic justice, they have to get it done. And that's the only reason I hope for a change. They break the mold and stop, and not just stop Australia. Like, if it were anybody else, I wouldn't mind Australia winning, but I just would rather have a change in narrative. Somebody like a proper underdog like South Africa lift that mace once and for all. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that that
Uh,
is yeah. Adi?
Yeah, bro, I guess that's true. Anyways, I think let's just try to guess what the lineups would be for South Africa, because there is a bit of confusion. And I think, yeah, we can just put in our
Mm.
predictions for the game, I think. And one more, Babuma averages 40 plus against all of Star Cummins Hazelwood. I don't know where you got this stat from. If you can verify and give it to us, because I think he has an average of 30, around 34 in Australia. And again, my point was him facing them in Australia is a total different ball game than them facing in England. And generally, it's two different conditions, two different set of players, right? And yeah, I'm not saying Bauma is not. a good player. Like I'm telling you, like yes, he can play well, and if it comes down to it, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good World Test Championship final also. But if I had to put out there, like who would I put my bets on? Like these three bowlers or the South African batting unit? I would give Australia the edge no matter what, just for the fact that they have the experience and they have proven themselves at this stage before. Like, look at the previous time they played. It was they played India, and it's not like they played India, a random Indian team. They were a very good team. They had very high quality players. You know, guys like Gill, Rohit Sharma, Pujara, Virat, even Rahane that time. For the matter of fact, he also played well. Punt was also there, so we can't take that factor out and say uh, yeah, for me, it's just a matter of I think they're just much better out there right now. So I think they can just get the edge out of the Bavuma or whoever it is for South Africa. And Markram averages 35 in Test cricket, which is sad. I mean, I guess so, but I think there are a lot of cricketers right now with an average of 35 who really do get gassed up, right? I think like KL Rahul, I think his average is just around 34, but
I think our new captain also averages less than this abroad.
yeah,
Out
30,
there.
30, what, around 30s, 33s itself. So I think right now that's the sad part of Test cricket. I think you look at most of the averages right now, I think everyone's average is reduced. We were talking about Labuschagne, his average is 30 right now, like 34, 30. It's been 34, 30. And this year it's been 15. I think overall it's just a sad fact that everyone's average has become a 30, 35. So
Hmm.
I don't think we can do much about it. But yeah, Rishi, what's your starting lineup for South Africa? Because you need to have how would you go? Six batters, one spinner, and three bowlers.
Six, yeah, that's
Sorry.
how they've more, yeah, that's pretty much how they've
Yeah.
usually looked, because they play all Rickleton, Verena, and Bedingham, who are essentially all the like three keepers. They don't have any other option. So for me, like I said, I would rather risk playing somebody like Rickleton down the order, like down the order as in number three. So I would go with Markram Dizorzi opening, Rickleton at three, Stubbs at
But
four.
the coach has already said like Markram and Rickleton are open the opening pairs. Like they've already confirmed it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, again, then I would, if anything, I just put Dizorzi number three, like, or Dizorzi, one of Dizorzi or Vian Mulder, because yeah, I don't, rather new to the setup. I don't have much expectations. If you can get something off of it, well and good, because I don't want to touch or mess around with the number four, number five, because even off late, Bauma has been doing well at number five. I wouldn't want to change that. Stubbs, probably South Africa's best batter, let him play at the best position. And
Just
then,
just for context, Stubbs' average at number three is 44 versus around 24 when he's batting at number four. Just to give,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
no,
played both,
I just saw that. I just saw that. But
equal. Like
you play Dizorzi at number three, but then, I mean, not Dizorzi, sorry. You play Stubbs at number three. Who do you play at number four? Convincing. Who is that convincing
no,
batter?
but
Like,
for
do you want to
me,
play
I
Verena
think
at number four?
no, but as New York Times Square says, I think Mulder's just better than Dezorzi. I would rather play Mulder.
Hmm.
No matter what, I just don't think
I,
Dezorzi. I don't know how he's batting, bro. Like I don't know how he's in the Test team still. I think they could have even tried someone like anyone out there. I just don't think Dezorzi is good enough to be in Test cricket. Or not playing for South Africa for so long because he's got a lot of chances. It's not like he's not played enough Test cricket.
yep, yep.
I would rather just have Mulder if it just comes down to it. But me personally, I would have Stubbs. But for the finals right now, I don't think they're going to change suddenly because they've tried to play Mulder there more often than not. So I think Mulder just comes number three. Then I would think Stubbs four, and then they
Stubbs
would put
four.
someone like Bauma. I
Bauma
mean,
five.
Bauma will be the number five.
Bedingham.
Yeah.
Bauma, Bedingham, and Verena. And then your four bowlers of Jansen, Maharaj, Rabada, and Dane Patterson. He's what, 36, pushing 37. So
You're
I think,
saying they'll have to play what one more batter, right? Because if you
no doubt,
have what is
done.
your opener, Markram Rickleton,
Markram, Rickleton,
then one
Mulder
bowler.
at three, Stubbs at four, Bauma at five,
Five.
Bedingham six, Verena seven,
Who's
and
your
then your
keeper?
four bowlers. Bedingham, Rickleton,
Your
and Verena,
keeper.
all are keepers.
Yeah,
So
won't you not play Bahrain?
Yeah, I mean, I would have Verena, but I'm saying all three are keepers, so it's not a day night difference. But I'd still have Verena keeper, probably their best keeper.
I
Yeah,
don't think Bedingham's kept for South Africa in Test, right? If I'm
he
not
is
wrong.
not a full time keeper, but he does keep. I'm saying
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if push comes to shove, he is. But Verena is their Verena is the regular keeper, so go
yeah,
with him.
exactly.
uh, on at the behind the stumps, and then your four mainstay bowlers. That's the thing. Like who, like their fifth bowler has to be Markram. Like as in they don't have that sixth option.
So you would put what, Verena, or would you put Bedingham as the last batter for them, and then it'll be Jansen?
Usually it is Verena who comes before. I mean after Bedingham. So
Yeah, but
I wouldn't want to change that right now because if it comes to it,
so you're
Jansen can
saying
always
Verena is
like
dropped for
give
this?
this up. Dropped? No, I'm saying he comes down the order.
Brother, you have two openers of Markram and this guy. What do you
Number
call him?
three,
Rickleton.
number
Then
three
you
is
have
Mulder.
Mulder. Then you have
Number
Bavuma.
four,
I mean
Stubbs.
Stubbs. Then
Number
Bavuma.
five is Bauma.
Bavuma.
Number six is Bedingham.
Then you have Verena. Then you have Jansen, who's come number 8. Then you have Keshav Maharaj, who's 9. Then you have only playing in two bowlers. That's my point. You can't play Bedingham and Verena.
Hey, we can play Bedingham and Verena. Bedingham,
Brother,
Verena is at 7. Bedingham is at
Rishi,
6.
if you play Bedingham at 6, Verena at 7, then
Hmm.
you have Jansen at 8. Then you have
Correct.
Keshav
Maharaj at
Maharaj at 9. There's no
9.
impact sub here. You have to
Rabada
remember.
at 10 and Dane Patterson at 11. They have four. They usually
So you're
play with
saying
four
you need
mainstay
three
bowlers.
pacers.
They have four bowlers: Mulder who bowls and Markram who's gonna play the
Bro,
part-time
but
spinner.
are you saying Jansen is a full-time bowler for them right now?
Yeah,
Do you think we
da.
can get? I don't, bro. For me, I would rather have. I really think NGD might play, but I don't know if he will or not. But I just
Hmm.
he suddenly gotten back to the test squad. I think there could be a chance where he can play. But yeah, I think okay, we'll see who can be. I think we'll have to see if that comes in, as an option. I don't think Jansen's good enough to be the full time, uh, you know, third choice bowler. But we'll have to see.
Hey, come on, dude. Jansen right now is as good as they get. Like premium left arm pacer. Like I think. I mean, he
To
pretty
me
much
personally, I'm just
him
telling from
and
my
Rabada carries that pace attack for South Africa.
to me personally, I just don't see it. Like that's my point. Like he's been their mainstay bowler right now in Test overall,
Interesting.
but I would rather have an extra bowler. That's it.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. Mulder is going to bowl. Mulder is going to be their one, two, three, fourth seamer, and Markram, if needed, is going to be their part-time spinner as well. So, like Mulder is
Hmm.
a proper all-rounder. So Jansen and Rabada to open. First change Dane Patterson. Three is going to be. I mean, your fourth
Mulder.
bowler, fourth pacer is going to be Mulder. Yeah.
And then what
So
about Australia?
that is what yeah South Africa looks like. And when it comes to Australia, brother,
Who are the openers? Who do you think? That's the
uh,
question. Who do you think will open for them?
I'm going with Khwaja and Travis Head.
Travis Head. You think he's going to
Yep.
open?
Yep.
Nah, that's
He opened
interesting.
in the Sri Lanka series also. I wouldn't want anybody like else tampering with that. Like just play them. Your
Mhm.
Labuschagne number 3, Smith number 4, and then the rest who will follow. Like just
Yeah,
don't.
so who would that be? Bro, the problem is if you're saying Head is going to bat opening,
Hmm.
then they have a problem with their back end. Are you saying it's going to be Carey, Inglis? Are you saying Inglis should play the finals? No. Like, are you saying you'd rather have Inglis
I
and
mean,
Cameron?
Inglis has been in decent. I mean, I'm not saying very good form, but decent form also.
He didn't
So
play in
I
the
would.
India Australia series, for example. He was not there in the squad.
Yeah, he was not. He was not. I know he was not. And that time it was Bow Webster who played no for them.
Yeah,
Uh,
they have Webster, but it was Carey, Head
and
who would come in the end for them.
correct, it was Carey and Head who would come in the end. So again for me, I would much rather have Travis Head opening carry, and if needed, English, or if Cameron Green indeed is fit, you can play Cameron Green also, and then followed by your four pacer. I mean, three pacers and your spinner, Gaz.
So you're saying openers at Head and Kawaja,
Yeah,
Labuschagne number three.
I would have Head and Khawaja open.
So Labu number three, Smith number
Labo
four.
three,
So
Smith
who
four.
comes number five now?
Oh, Cam Green.
So you will play in number five, and then
Cam Green five.
carry six.
Carry six. English seven, and then your
I
four.
think English six and carry seven. I think that would be the
Huh,
point.
one of those two, followed by your four bowlers.
Yeah. Uh, Rahul saying Constas and Kawaj open. I personally don't think Constas will play, just for the fact that I don't think he was selected for the Sri Lanka team. I mean Sri Lanka Test series, and you have Cameron Green back, so I think I don't see where you can fit Cameron Green, Constas, Head, English, and carry. Like it doesn't make sense. I think just based on his age, bro, he's still 18 years old. I think he has a lot of cricket for him to play. Just putting him in the deep end in England, I don't know if it's going to be the best. And I don't think he had the best in test series against India also. He did struggle in his home conditions. So I would his who's most dangerous position? Who are you talking about? If you're talking
Constas
about
will
as an
be head
opener,
down the order.
I think Head as an opener is better than Constas, like in any format, right? If you have to
Hmm.
put down to it, like I would rather have Head opening also if it comes down to it. Now he's opening T20, he's opening even in the 50 overs. Like you look at for Australia, he's the opener for both formats. Like if you're saying who would you have as an opener, Constas or Head, I would rather have Head as an opener and just play him there. So yeah. I think that's it. So Rishi, I think from you, the story perspective, you rather have
Yep, I
South Africa
want South Africa to get over the line, bro.
interest.
I mean, a lot of personal this one as well. Like, yeah, like Rahul was mentioning, Rabada has a point to prove. South Africa as a nation has a big point to prove, and I think they would benefit a lot more from that, from winning this one than Australia right now.
Fair. Even I agree. I think it would be nice for South Africa to win, but I just think looking at Australia's batting and bowling unit, I think overall, bro, this is too experienced. That I think they're in good form right now, and I think they're just going to win it with ease. Not
That
with ease
is.
at least, but I think they are the better team, if I have to say.
I mean, yeah, I still think Australia are favorites going into this game. They just have that air of superiority, and they are just a little bit better, I'd say. But I feel South Africa for the first time in a very long time have a solid team who can go toe to toe with them. I feel that's the biggest difference for that. Like I don't see them as that timid team who are like who have been going through the mill for a while now. I feel they are finally there, and this really could be their crowning moment.
True. All right, we'll see what happens in the finals, and I think we can talk about it next week.
Hmm.
Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.